Chapter 57. A Gentleman's Lie. Translator, Skypharaoh Editor, Skypharaoh. Jiafu was conflicted. He had dispelled his suspicions of Fang Yuan and was certain that Jia Gui was the mastermind. But yet, so what if I know the truth? Jiafu felt anger and sadness surging. I have no evidence at hand, so if I accuse Jia Gui in front of Father without any proof, Father might even think I am trying to frame him. Jiafu was smart, and he looked at Fang Yuan, a light flashing in his eyes. Jia Jin Sheng had journeyed with him together, and now that he was missing, it was Jiafu's fault for not taking care of him. Since he could not accuse Jia Gui, he had to give his father some answer. And this answer was in front of him. That's right. If Fang Yuan is the scapegoat, it would at least help me get through this crisis. Once I get over it, I can get back at Jia Gui with twice the payback, Jiafu thought deviously. He raised his pitch, interrogating Fang Yuan. Fang Yuan, how do you prove that you did not harm Jia Jin Sheng? The clan elders were stunned. This is obviously your internal dispute. Why are you still grabbing onto my clansmen? Only the Guyue clan leader looked grim, his expression turning sharp as he stared at Jiafu. Fang Yuan, what proof do you have to show that you were not present at the time and did not harm Jia Jin Sheng? If you can't prove it, you are the murderer. Jiafu pointed at Fang Yuan, his gaze furious as he threatened with his aura. He's trying to push our clan's Fang Yuan into being the scapegoat. How atrocious. At this point, the clan elders had reacted, and their expressions all turned unkind. They had been fighting and scheming against each other for a long time, so if they thought about it, they would know easily about Jiafu's standpoint and intentions. Witness? Of course I do. I prepared it long ago. Fang Yuan smiled internally, but showed an expression of shock, as if he wanted to speak but couldn't. No need for others. Just tell me if you do or not. Jiafu raised his voice again, forcing Fang Yuan. Fang Yuan showed an indignant expression, but finally gritted his teeth and said helplessly, No. Haha, then you are. Jiafu was about to declare his verdict, but at that point, halt! The academy elder took a step forward and stood in front of Fang Yuan with a solemn expression. Of course he has a witness. That would be me. You? Jiafu asked in shock. That's right, me. The academy elder, facing rank 4 Jiafu, was slightly overpowered, but seeing Gu Yuebo's encouraging gaze, he gathered his courage and raised his head. These days, when Fang Yuan unexpectedly became the first to break through the middle stage, I sent my men to investigate him. His everyday activities and actions are recorded down. There was no time for him to harm Jia Jin Sheng. Yes, this is it. Fang Yuan hid behind the academy elder's back, where no one could see his curled lips, revealing a smile. Jiafu's expression was dim. He did not expect the academy elder to stand out and protect Fang Yuan. The crucial point was, the Guyue clan leader did not object. This had a great meaning, for it meant the Guyue clan was going to protect Fang Yuan. I get it. I wanted to get Fang Yuan to become the scapegoat, but that was from my perspective, and I did not consider their perspective. Indeed, once Fang Yuan is criminalized, the Guyue clan has to bear the evil name of harming a Jia family member. From then on, they will have to face the Jia family's retribution, as well as losing their own reputation. Furthermore, future caravans would not dare to come here and trade anymore. The loss is too great. Thinking of this, Jiafu was anguished and wanted to slap his own head. The Guyue higher-ups did have such considerations. Fang Yuan was a C grade, so if he really harmed Jia Jin Sheng, handing him over was nothing. But the point was, now that his suspicion had been cleared, if he was handed over, wouldn't the Guyue clan suffer a great injustice and lose out greatly? Knowing that this conflict could not be resolved, Jiafu gritted his teeth, determined to get his way. He said, If so, why don't you let me use the footprint goo? Once this goo is used, it will show us his last 30,000 footprints on the floor. The academy elder scoffed in displeasure. Jiafu's words meant he did not trust them, but he has no reason to stop him. Thus he let Jiafu through. Come and test. Fang Yuan laughed coldly at Jiafu, walking towards him with his head lowered. He was confident, having predicted this. Thus, these few days he kept his activities within the village and did not go to the secret cave. Under the Gu Yue higher-up supervision, Jiafu did not play any tricks. The footprint Gu was very peculiar. It was shaped like a person's foot. Its material was like a translucent yogurt, giving others a feeling of smoothness, and the surface had a yellow-green luster. Its size was small, being only palm size. Jiafu held it in his hands, sending primeval essence into the footprint Gu. The footprint Gu became brighter, and then suddenly, with a bam sound, exploded into a cloud of yellow-green powder. The powdery cloud enveloped Fang Yuan and spun around him before flying out of the discussion hall. Where the powder cloud passed through, the floor would show a series of footprints. These footprints glowed in a yellow-green light around the same size as Fang Yuan's foot. They were Fang Yuan's footprints when he entered the discussion hall. The footprints extended from the family head pavilion into the academy hostel and then to the academy and circulated. Other than that, it reached the mountain village's inn. The powder cloud became smaller as it flew, and finally, at the 30,000 step, it vanished. The results were clear. Everyone had checked and knew that Fang Yuan was innocent. There were no suspicious points. Jiafu sighed, taking out a small jade box. He opened the jade box where there was only a jade piece inside. The jade piece was a translucent emerald color, and there was a Gu sealed inside. This was a phasmid's one, its body long and slim, with the color of jade, its entire body looking like a bamboo tube. The phasmid's was normally longer than a palm, but this one wasn't, being only the size of a fingernail. On its surface, it emitted a white glow. Green jade as its body, white light enveloping its form. This is the bamboo gentleman. At once, some of the elders recognized this Gu worm and exclaimed, "Here?" Even Gu Yuebo was moved. He could not refrain from advising, "Brother Jia, this bamboo gentleman is a rank 4 Gu. It is not easily refined. Why waste it here?" Jiafu shook his head, looking at Fang Yan. "This bamboo gentleman was obtained through gambling rocks when I was young. The rock was only opened halfway before it could no longer be extracted. As everyone knows, this Gu worm is fed honesty as food, being able to detect lies from birth. Only an honest gentleman who has never lied can refine and feed this Gu. Fang Yuan, you just have to open this rock and keep the bamboo gentleman in your aperture. Whatever I ask you, you will answer. Next, we will take out this Gu and let everyone see if it changed color. If the Gu changes color, you're lying." "No problem." Fang Yuan did not hesitate. He immediately opened the jade piece and did as Jiafu instructed. The bamboo gentleman appeared in his aperture and emitted a faint green glow, covering the primeval sea. Fang Yan felt that if he said a single lie, the bamboo gentleman could detect it and turn its body from green into another color. But he only accepted it because he had his trump card. Spring-autumn cicada. With a thought, the spring-autumn cicada awakened and let out a trace of its aura. This aura was overpowering, and it immediately suppressed the bamboo gentleman. The bamboo gentleman emitted a green glow and immediately shrunk its body. Its entire body was curled up, trembling in fear. How could it have the excessive spirit to detect lies? Jiafu began interrogating, with his first question hitting home. "Fang Yuan, did you harm my brother Jia Jinsheng?" "No," Fang Yuan affirmed. Jiafu asked, "Do you have any other information about him?" Fang Yuan shook his head. "No idea." Jiafu asked again, "Did you say anything dishonest to us earlier?" Fang Yuan shook his head again. "No." "All right, you can take out the bamboo gentleman now." After finishing with 3 questions, Jiafu instructed Fang Yuan. Fang Yuan took out the bamboo gentleman, and everyone saw that it was still an emerald green color with no changes. The clan elders heaved a sigh of relief. Jiafu's expression became milder as he kept the bamboo gentleman, cupping his fist towards Gu Yuebo. "Much offense this time, Brother Gu Yue." "No matter, the truth is what we wanted to see as well." Gu Yuebo waved his hand and sighed. But what a pity for this bamboo gentleman. The bamboo gentleman had the ability to detect lies and was a rank 4 gu. Thus it was very valuable. But feeding and refining it was not easy. It had to be refined by an honest gentleman. If any other gu master had said a single lie, the refinement would fail, and the bamboo gentleman would die on the spot. Its food was honesty. It would reside in the aperture of an honest gentleman, and consuming the gentleman's honesty as food to survive. Now that the bamboo gentleman had been opened, it was extremely weak, but it had no food to restore its strength. After being treated so harshly by Fang Yuan, its death was set in stone. Jiafu shook his head, looking at the bamboo gentleman in his head, not feeling any pity. He said solemnly, "I have already done my best to investigate, but I received no results. This time, when I get back to the family, I will employ the divine investigator Ti Shuiling, too. It would definitely get this matter cleared up. Goodbye." Saying so, he cupped his fist towards Gu Yuebo and left crisp and quick, with a certain elegance to it. Seeing Jia Fu and the rest leaving, Gu Yuebo heaved a sigh of relief and said, "You can all leave now." He waved at the clan elders, but suddenly thought of something and said, "Academy elder, please stay back." Without losing a single drop of sweat, Fang Yuan walked out of the family head's pavilion safe and sound. 2. Tai Zi Ling Tai Shuiling. Tai means metal and is the name of the Tai clan. Shuiling means cold blood. This name will be important.